please make sure you are picking this. On this part, please turn up the volume. There's a certain artist, I don't even want to mention his name, but he went around busy saying, no, Roberto is very stingy and greedy and everything. But listen, guys.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Benas, aka B Money, aka Mr. 50K. This is the 50K podcast. Joining me on the show this week is multi-award winning artist and international superstar, my uncle, Roberto. Welcome to the show.
That's a powerful intro. You know, when you start acting like my uncle, it's like diplomacy has to be followed. But anyways, from an uncle to a nephew, don't worry, you will not be scolded for certain questions. So feel free.
No, I have to put it out there in case people didn't know.
Of course. No, but it's good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, like I had to sneak it in, like in wrestling, the way Cody Rhodes would be like, my father, Dusty Rhodes.
Nah, but it's all good. It's all good. It's good to be here. Happy to see you guys getting to do all this and been following it. So yeah, excited, looking forward.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so now you first broke into the Zambian scene in 2007.
Yeah.
And this is 2025. So when you do the math, you've been in the game for 18 years now. Mm-hmm. And from the beginning, I would say your intake, your class was Levins, Nalema, the late Jimmy Over, even guys like Tieseko with Nkala Che. Yes.
So for the better part of the beginning of my career, I would say, because I started much earlier, whilst I was still in South Africa, though I wasn't mainstream as per se in Zambia. So practically, I would say the first time that I kind of released my first song or recorded my first song professionally was 2003, 2004, somewhere there. But then I had shelved the songs because I was trying to find a way in which the music could be released to the general public. So not until I kind of just mingled with a few friends from school did I come across a guy called Leon Mundombe who had a studio at his home. So he was from Angola. And then I found that they had started working on a compilation. Mm-hmm. So the compilation was to comprise of artists from across the African continent. So they already had a number of songs recorded. And then I came on just to kind of just give guidance, almost like an A&R sort of arrangement, then turned into a producer, and then turned into a majority of the featured artists on it. So from there, we released the compilation. It was called The Takeoff, Volume 1. Volume 2 has never seen the light of day to this day. Hopefully, there'll be Volume 2. So that was pretty much the rise. And then what I did have was a couple of songs that I kept for myself. Then when we were in studio, I started playing some of my songs. Then these two guys came through to the studio wait a minute, why don't we jump on this song? So the remix is what made it to the compilation. Mm-hmm. And that's how come the only version of one of the first songs that I have is the remix. So to this date, I don't have the original version of the Chest to Chest song. And what I do have is the remix because that's what ended up being released on that compilation. So Chest to Chest is the only song that I still have to this day that I can trace back as one of my first songs that we ever released. So then of course came back to Zambia in 2007. Things started happening.
Yeah, speaking of Chest to Chest, I've been trying to look for the song. Is it
on any?
Oh,
I have it. I actually have it, and I've made sure I've sent it to all my emails just to make sure I don't lose it like the other songs. When computers crash, that's when you realize the importance of backing up stuff. So, but I still have it, and I still have the Takeoff Volume 1 project because there were a lot of songs that I featured on there. You can even tell that the vocals were something else. But it's good history though.
No, it is good history. So for those that may not know, so Chest to Chest was an all English song that you recorded while you were in South Africa.
Yeah.
And then how did you manage to transition from the South African market to coming to Zambia at the time? Who was dominating? Guys like Exile, Chameleon with the Venak. Yep. How did you manage to transition or say become like a chameleon and fit in with the Zambian market and still be relevant in 2007? So
the transition for me was kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, I would say it needed to happen. So all the songs that I was working on whilst I was in South Africa, of course, were sung in English. And when I came, it was Sling Beats. It was a Sling Beats takeover, you know, from Tai Tools and Kanji, Aussie, Chameleon, Hamova. I remember the time that I came back from South Africa, Hamova was working on his debut album. And Mampi was, you know, popping with, I think there's a song called Sunsha that she had released. So there was a lot going on. Of course, Exile and all these guys were really kind of like just, you know, making waves. So come back with English songs. And then I remember I went for a couple of interviews. And yeah, those interviews never got aired. Went to a few places and weren't granted, you know, an opportunity to showcase my skills. So when I went back to Kabwe, there was a young guy by the name of B-Flow who I'd started managing because I was just straight from SA. So then he was like, you know what, maybe just try and sing in Nyanja. So one of the first projects that I worked on was a song called Kalata. So I worked on a song called Kalata, and it was like an experiment for me because I was moving from like the R&B hip-hop inspired sound to now commercializing it to the Zambian sound.
Yes.
So I worked on that song and a few other songs, and then I worked on a song called Mtima Wako. So Mtima Wako, initially I thought of having Chameleon on the song. So I kept the chorus empty, and we tried to push for Chameleon to be on the song. It never happened. So I ended up using the bridge as a chorus to the song. And that's how Mutimako was made. So I released that as well. That was the second release. It really didn't go anywhere. I remember I went to QFM and tried to push it. QFM was one of the few stations that used to actually give me interviews with 3omatic and KB. Then 2007, I moved to Lusaka and I met a guy called Sean Cheddar. Sean Cheddar used to work with Chameleon's manager. So they had set up a studio in Kablonga and they were looking for artists. So I went there and I found Levins at that studio. And that's how I started producing music with Drex. So one night I was busy doing my thing, fell asleep, and I dreamt of a song in my sleep. And I woke up and I made it exactly the way I dreamt it. And that song was called Operetta.
Wow.
And that's what then was released and became my breakthrough song.
Yes.
So everything then started kind of like just taking shape from 2007 because then it's like, okay, so who is this new guy? So we structured a way in which we wanted to release the song and make sure that people got to hear it. And I think the whole strategy worked.
It worked. Speaking of strategies, like I mentioned, we're now in 2025 and I would say you're always considered like a top 3, top 5 artist, regardless of who is considered at the top. So be it during the Slap D, Makitu rivalry, your name was in the conversation. Even now with youngsters like Yomaps, Chilewan, Mordecai, you're still in the conversation.
Yeah.
So many people have come and gone, but 18 years later, you're still here. What do you think you're doing right? How have you managed to adapt and change with the times, how people are consuming music, mainly radio, CDs, now to Spotify, YouTube? Even in those fronts, you're still like a leader and a trailblazer. How have you managed?
I think it's just been just being able to adopt different sounds, you know, and being honest with yourself. When something is not working, just be honest with yourself that it hasn't worked. And I want to believe that my catalog is my biggest competition. Sometimes people want to position another artist as their main competition. For me, I look at my catalog as my biggest competition. And whenever I say this, sometimes people take it the wrong way. No, are you saying that uja simukali uja? No, I'm not saying simukali, ni mukali. But the thing is, your catalog needs to be your biggest competition. Your previous hit, you need to be able to try and outclass your previous hit. And that's why, to this day, if you go back to my music, I don't think you're going to find a song that, for example, sounds like Amarula. You'll not find a song that sounds like Good Woman. I always try to do something very different. So when I go back to my music, I think of doing something better than what I have released. But also, instead of me being a hater and hating on other people that are doing well, I'm inspired by their success. And when they're doing something, I always want to take a step back and say, okay, what is it that they're doing that I could intertwine with what I believe in to continue being consistent and relevant in the industry? Because times have changed. when we're releasing songs like Operator, the distribution method was very, very, very different to the way it is nowadays, even just the way you promote music. Back then, there were just a few radio stations, and you could literally just spend a few hours in the morning distributing your music. Now, if you want to have a media tour, it's like 4 or 5 days, and you are visiting 4 or 5 different stations in a day. So you have multiple media platforms, you have different online platforms, and all these opportunities that one may have to utilize. You've got podcasts now, you've got this and that. So there's a lot to do now than the way it was back in the days. So I've tried to adapt to change and just be relevant and being able to be inspired by what's going on.
No, that's actually a good
it's a good answer.
Insight.
I know.
I wasn't expecting that one.
That's the reason why we're still here.
No, it's good. I think even your other colleagues, they just have to learn, because there's YouTube now. You just watch even interviews from outside. I like to watch Jay-Z interviews as well. Like there are a lot of gems. It's like reading a book. Like you see that, oh, okay, so this guy does it like this, and then you get 1 or 2 things as well. Yep. And also, I would say you never shy away from learning from like young people. Like you just reach out, say, no, you're 18. These guys are internet babies. They grew up with the internet. So I think there's no harm in even like asking them for advice and
of course,
how you're supposed to do things.
And I agree, because if you look at my social media team, the majority of people in the social media team are really young individuals that are also just getting to understand life. And for me, I learn a lot from them as well. So, for example, I had no idea what a sneaky link was, not until someone from my team said sneaky link. I'm like, what's that? You don't know the sneaky link? I'm like, I don't know. What is a sneaky link?
Yeah.
I heard recently the spencing. I'm like, what? What? Spencing? What is that? So we even used it in the song. I think we used it in the song Casanova. Then we removed it. Because I think Ozzy came. It's like, no. Yeah. Change that.
Yeah. So I was like, no, it wasn't hitting his demographic, only the kids.
Like, no, the young ones will understand, but the older ones won't understand. Just keep it Casanova, it's okay. So there are a lot of things that, with time I'm getting to learn and understand, because I'm an open book. I love to give people an opportunity to guide me through, and maybe that's one of the reasons why to this date I'm still able to be relevant to different age groups, because then I'm able to tap into what they're talking about, the lingo and that sort of thing.
Nice. That's good. So speaking of Amarula and going international, so in Zambia, like we mentioned, 2007 was your breakout year, and then I would say 2015 was your breakout year internationally with the hit song Amarula. At what point did you realize that this song is now huge? It's crossed borders. It's now like carrying like Zambia on the map? Because at the time, or rather not at the time, a few years later, I also moved to South Africa. I lived there. So it was that thing where I would randomly like play the song, like just to test people, say like, have you heard this song before? And 9 times out of 10 people would say they've heard the song before, and it would always like blow my mind. And like, these are Zambian songs, and people think it's Nigerian or whatever, but then it's actually from here. So at what point did you realize that this is actually like a big song that I've created?
I think it took me a while to actually come to terms and realize that I had made a song that became bigger than the brand, bigger than the name, bigger than what I anticipated. There are people out there that know the song Amarula, and they might not even know the name of the owner of the song, if you get my point.
Yes.
So the song became so big, still is very big, that certain people, you have to literally say, oh, this is Roberto. Like, Roberto, Amarula. You get my point.
Yes.
So the song is so big, still very big. And I think the time that Calvin Harris, not Calvin Harris, what's this guy's name again? Diplo. What's
from
Diplo's?
Major Lazer?
Yes. So when Diplo added the song to his official playlist at some carnival and whatever it is, that's when I was like, whoa, okay, this is major, And then I saw another version that was made by a guy called Ash from Mauritius, and Major Lazer added that particular song to their playlist, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is insane. So you can actually get to create a song and have a certain vision, but then the song itself will take you beyond your personal vision. And I feel like Amarula basically did that. It opened so many doors for me. It is still opening doors for me. Recently, I think just like a month ago, would you believe that's when the song is becoming big in India?
Wow. Ish.
So it's now being added on to a lot of party playlists in India. I think I've done like almost 2 to 3 interviews just the past month. Yeah, with the ongoing Afrobeats trend in India, because Afrobeats is now becoming big in India. And one of the songs that is becoming big is Amarula. So it's like it keeps reintroducing itself in different areas and different regions. For some people, they've moved on past the song. And surprisingly, there are people that think Amarula is my first and last song.
Only song.
So whenever I travel, someone says, but why are you quiet? Why have you not released anything? And I'm like thinking, excuse me, the very same channel where you watch that video, why don't you actually get to see the other videos? Like, I don't get it. Why? Because then it feels like it's an insult. You know, like, I'm Roberto. Do you understand? But it's interesting how the song is still growing, and I can definitely agree. That's like my biggest song. Yeah.
No. There's still time. Like, other bangers can be made, and
they have been made.
Yeah, exactly.
They have been made.
Exactly. Because I remember even Wiz Khalifa was upset, or rather, I always joke with my friends to say there are some artists that you think have gone quiet, but are actually still relevant. Like, just try to go to their YouTube channel.
Yes.
You will see that even guys like maybe Kobe or Donis, you find that he dropped a song 2 months ago, but then, because you are not subscribed to their channel. That's why, like, we have to emphasize to our fans and people out there to always, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, so that if there's any new project, they are aware that this person is still dropping. Yeah, because even like with me, there are some people that maybe they think, no, I saw a podcast, the last one you did with Medad, but they've been like 4 episodes afterwards.
I see.
Yes, that kind of thing. So
no, that's true. Very, very true. It's important to sensitize people, because there's some that are only getting to know and understand these other platforms. What you need to understand is we had a phase when the only credible platform for people was Boomplay. And for someone like me that really had a tough time not collecting money off Boomplay, I preferred promoting platforms that were paying me. But the masses wanted to go with a platform that is readily available. And I need to give it up to Boomplay, because they did such a great job at marketing their platform. You know, they went and ensured that their application was on low-end handsets. And if you look at the demographics in this country, there are a lot of people that are low-end income individuals. So there are certain phones that are in mass production and are in mass use in high-density areas or low-end areas. And that's where you find Boomplay. So you needed to understand that it's 1 out of 20 or 2 out of 20 are on Spotify. 6 or 8 out of 20 are on Boomplay. Maybe even 10. You know, if you meet your security guard or whatever it is, they've got Boomplay.
Yes.
You go in the market, the person that's selling clothes somewhere, they have Boomplay. They don't have Spotify. They don't have Apple Music. So it was such a great strategy for Boomplay to ensure that they were on those platforms. But now, people are starting to migrate and switch to other platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, and others are now starting to understand the importance of YouTube. So there are a number of people out there that aren't really so aware of the importance and how to work their way around YouTube. But that's where we come in to educate the people that follow our music and support our music. So I'm hoping within the next 2, 3 to maybe 5 years, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music might be the biggest platforms in this country, and it would be great for the industry.
For sure. I've just remembered. I remember there was a time when people used to post full music videos on Facebook, and this was the time when Facebook was not yet monetized. So regardless of the views that you get on Facebook, like, you're not going to get a single penny. And this was the time when you were one of the few that were just posting 15-second clips, 30-second clips, and people would be upset. But then now it's paid off. You ended up being the first Zambian artist based here to
say that again. No, please start again. No, we need to be very clear with these things. Certain information is very important that it is extremely clear, crystal clear. Our sound engineer is sound okay? Sound, is it good? Okay,
sound is good, Mr.
Sound is
Bazuma.
good. No, please, when you're saying such things, please say them and say it slowly.
Yeah.
You were saying?
So you ended up being the first Zambian artist based in Zambia to get a silver play button award from YouTube.
Yeah.
This means when you attain 100,000 subscribers, you get a silver play button.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it means you're a trailblazer in that space.
Indeed.
So what was that like for you, especially after receiving backlash for not posting your full videos on Facebook and instead telling the fans to be directed to YouTube, where like it's actually relevant and where the money is?
So I would say it really is unfortunate how at times our industry and some of our supporters always seem to take certain scenarios as well as achievements negatively. I'll start off with, for example, do you remember the trip that I undertook to Uganda, where we had requested for a number of things, and then that's trend.
Yes.
And then we received those things, and then the Zambians were upset that I did receive them. And then I made a video talking about how I'm not mocking anybody, but I'm just appreciating the fact that I'm able to do these things, and I invest my money in certain businesses, and on top of that, I'm still able, so long as I'm able to just buy my socks and underwear, things that I can buy any day, I'm good. Mm-hmm. So out of everything I had said, everyone just said, okay, what are we going to attack him with? Everything he says is said. And because I challenged people, because they were saying, no, he went to a country and he was being escorted by goats, people on bicycles and that sort of thing. So I said, okay, great. Yeah, let's take it that, people that were escorting me, that escort was goats and bicycles. Tell me a Zambian artist that's ever received such, I challenged, I said, show me a video of a Zambian artist that's ever gone to another country and was received like this. And you see, that was the thing. For me, I was challenging the Zambians to make them realize that it's important for us to celebrate our own artists. That was the bottom line. We need to be able to celebrate our own artists. But instead, everyone skipped that. They only went to socks
to the motorcade and
boxers. That's it. Everything else that was credible, that is factual about how we need to embrace and grow the industry, everyone just said, no, not this. Let's just talk about, he said he buys, I'll put it like this, my socks na my bump. You get it? And that was the narrative. So there are certain people that never even watched my video in full to understand what I was saying. But because someone somewhere said, we need to bring this person down, we need to make him look bad, they only picked the part where I said, well, at least I'm happy I'm able to buy this and this with my own money and I'm good with it. So why should it bother you if I buy those things using my own money and I work for that money? It shouldn't bother you. So it also goes to now the time that I said I don't want my music videos on other YouTube channels. Furthermore, a few weeks later, I said, okay, I'm not going to be uploading. I don't want anyone who's got a website to upload my music. And back then, if you remember very well, there was Indimba. Indimba was really big.
That's how we used to get the music.
There are all these platforms. And I need to credit those guys because they really played a huge role in just getting to help us as artists distribute our music. But at some point, we needed to start making money. So if we need to start making money, we need to ensure that music is not being distributed for free. So I personally said, okay, I don't want any other websites uploading my music for free. Again, the negativity kicked in. Hey, he's become big-headed. He's become big-headed, this guy. Just one song, this Amarula song, and he's become big-headed. He's now telling everyone, no, I don't want ABCD. And I said, listen, I want my music on Spotify and Apple Music. Because by then, I think I'd received my first $1,000. And I was like, whoa, I can actually make money off this. So let me push for the platforms that are making me money. With Indimba and all these other platforms, they were great for exposure and everything else. But I don't think there were artists that were making money off those downloads. But now here's an opportunity for me to make money. Of course, backlash. Hey, Roberto's become big-headed, and in fact, he's very selfish. Hey. YouTube, same thing. I said I don't want anyone to upload my music videos and ABCD. And if you're going to upload my video on Facebook, make sure it's not more than 30 seconds. Oh, yo. Aye, this guy is feeling himself. So I was being attacked left, right, and center. 10 years down the road. Tell me, what is it that we're busy bragging about now?
Jesus.
What is it that the Zambian artists are bragging about now? The very same stuff that I was criticized, called names over, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. People called me names. People blacklisted me for these very same things. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. How many artists are making money off this platform? But it's because I stood my ground and said, this is what I want. And I mentioned it. You guys, when you realize this, you thank me. Only a few have come to me and said, you know what, you are right. Because everybody's bragging about, I've done 1 million views. How many artists were clocking 1 million views back in the days?
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
If you do 100,000, then you're doing the most. But now we've got artists that can do it easily. You know what I mean? You could be a new artist. You could be an established artist. And it's a great feeling to give to your fans, people that support you when they see that there's progress. But it had to take someone to take the bullet for everybody else. And it was me. That's how come the first Plaque came to who? Because I started it way before.
Yes.
You get my point. One of the first millions on Spotify, who was it? It was me. Because I started this. But I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like it's my company or it's my win. But it's everybody's win, because this is for the industry. And it's important that we all embrace this and ensure that people are able to make an honest living, because people are working hard, recording music and that sort of thing. And for me, it makes me happy when I see other artists achieve all these wonderful accolades. It may even be more than what I have achieved. But the fact that we're able to follow this trajectory, for me, that's a plus. So it's not my personal achievement to say, if you clock 1 million, then you need to come to me and thank me. No. It's your achievement. Enjoy it, embrace it. And I will tell you publicly, go out there, brag about it. Don't let anyone tell you should not celebrate your wins. Because as Zambians, we've got this tendency of saying, no, why are you busy celebrating? 1 million, che. Okay, show us your 1 million. Show us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have this tendency of always trying to sideline people that are achieving something. We want to make them feel like their achievement is nothing. Hey, you should be thanking us fans. To me, on 1 pin. No.
That's not how it works.
No. It doesn't work like that. Congratulate the person, inspire them, and motivate them so that they can then score their next 1 million. But I think it's important that we understand that. I'm here to share a story of how hard it was, but now things are moving a certain type of way because someone had to make that sacrifice. And it was me. I'm the person that took the bullets for all these things. And to this day, certain people don't like me. They don't even know why they don't like me. But because someone somewhere had said something bad about me, and they've continued to think, oh no, Roberto is a bad person. Meanwhile, you are here enjoying your 1 million views on YouTube, but you want to hate me. Hey, Muntuanga, what's the problem? Behave yourself.
It feels like someone from the biblical days. Like you ended up taking bullets, but then it paid off at the end of the day when you're just simply trying to show people the light. And I remember even, was it Vitamin U?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one that wasn't on these pirate sites.
No.
Yeah, because I remember I was actually trying to look for it, but then I couldn't find it there. It was only on Spotify. And that time I had the BlackBerry, and I was like, why? But anyway, I get it. Like you won't benefit anything if I download it from these other platforms, but I have to now get an Android or an iPhone, download Spotify, pay for Spotify, and then Spotify are going to share some of that money with you. And then at the end of the day, everybody is eating, which is how it's supposed to be.
That's true.
Yeah. So speaking of music distribution, it's common knowledge that we don't have these offices here. Universal, Warner, Atlantic, Sony, and all these other companies. So basically in Zambia, we don't have that structure, but you're one of the few that has managed to still get your music out there despite us not having these structures. So how have you managed to just come out of your way and not let the country limit you?
So it really is, unfortunate that we have so much talent, so much wonderful content, great content, amazing creatives in this country. And we struggle with even just the simple factor of monetization, even just on social media. And you need to understand there are a lot of artists out there that are a one-man band. They record themselves, they mix themselves, they release the music themselves, they promote themselves, they distribute the music themselves. So it makes it a bit difficult for an industry like ours to thrive and grow because we do not have the necessary tools to help us compete on a global scale. Not to say that the artists in this country cannot compete. I can guarantee you right now, if you brought certain artists from even from West Africa and whatever it is and say, okay, fine, we've got these 3 artists, you guys are going to perform 5 of your biggest songs, and then we've got these artists from Zambia going to perform 5 of your biggest songs. It would be an amazing show that people would enjoy, and I can guarantee you, regardless of where the other people are coming from, they will definitely point and say, okay, yeah, that was a good song, that's a good song. That's how good our industry has become. However, what we do have are just platforms. I don't know if you're aware that once I upload my song today on, say, TuneCore or DistroKid or all these other digital platforms, they then distribute to Spotify, Apple Music, yada, yada, yada. What happens is that the marketing from there onwards, it's just you alone. It's you alone. Everything you do from there, the minute you just upload it, it's available. It's like it's in hanging. So it's like, let's put a carrot. You put it there and that's it. You are a farmer. Once you just put it, it's there. But now, with our colleagues in other countries, they have this privilege of having people now get to go to the stores. For example, Spotify, Apple Music, and AudioMac, and say, okay, great, listen, we've got this song and we want you to put it on this particular playlist. Can you put it on Africa Top 10, or can you put it on ABCD? And that's what we lack when it comes to the Zambian music industry. We have the music, but it's not being pitched to certain playlists so that then it's right in front of the global market. You understand my point?
Yes.
So we suffer that setback because we are not right in the forefront. The content is great. It's amazing. It's good for the industry, but then it's just only good for Zambia, not for the global market. If we were given an opportunity to have the very same privileges that other artists have, for example, say South Africa or Nigeria, Kenya, and that sort of thing, I can guarantee you would be seeing more Zambian artists getting to mushroom and grow in these other regions. So do we blame the stores? I would say maybe not really. Maybe what we need to do is create certain agencies with the help of I don't always want to bring in the government, because the government is also waiting for us to go to them and say, listen, we're lacking in ABCD. They just can't imagine that, oh, Roberto needs, someone to help him. We need to create those discussions and engagements with them. So I feel like we need to really brainstorm as a nation, as organizations, from Zambia Association of Musicians to National Arts Council, and then we tabled it all the way to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts, and say, listen, this is what we'd love to do. Would love to have direct audience with these particular stores. How can we, utilizing all these agencies, reach out to those stores and say, okay, fine, can we introduce a Zambia Top something on Apple Music or this and that? And it's right there for the global world to see. And for me, I feel that is the only way we can see growth for Zambian music, because artists will come and they'll go and they'll have really good music, but they may never get to experience everything that they dream of experiencing. That's how come you find certain artists will pop up today, 2-3 songs, and they're really good. Everyone is singing those songs, making TikTok videos, and then 1 year later, the person is gone. So we miss out on a lot of great opportunities because we really are not positioned in a way that our music is exposed widely and massively. But the talent is there. The platforms are there. I feel like we just haven't really created that synergy with the stores to ensure that we catapult ourselves to that level. For example, would you believe there are certain songs by certain artists in this country, they've never received royalties for the songs playing in other countries? They haven't. They don't even know they can receive royalties. So there are all those aspects that need to be tabled. They need to be brought to the light. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh yeah. So we have to also be like in contact with like Samro in SA, for example. They need to like find a way of like paying our artists royalties here as well.
So the thing is, each country has got, I would say, like an association, like the way we've got Zamcorps.
Yes.
Yeah. So each country has got an association or organization that handles copyrights, and the like copyright matters. So I don't know. I don't want to start calling out people here right now, but
No, let's not do that.
it is crazy.
Let's
It is
not do
crazy. It is crazy. But I will tell you, from a personal point of view, I personally have made efforts, multiple efforts, at trying to ensure that we are able to get our royalties from different countries, because right now, if you go to Namibia, you'll find Zambian music playing. If you go to Malawi, you'll find Zambian music playing. All these neighboring countries, majority of them will play Zambian music.
Sure,
right?
that's true.
But our artists receiving those royalties. When was the last time you ever heard to say, "Well, your money from the music that played in Namibia has arrived"? I want you to tell me in the next coming episodes. Call any of these artists and ask them to say, "Can you please tell me if you've ever received royalties from these other countries?" You get my point. And that is these are matters that are affecting all the creatives. You get my point. There are matters that are affecting the creatives, and we need to table them. We need to ensure that these are issues that should be handled quickly, because the industry is growing. We need to capitalize on this. We need to be a part and parcel of the discussions, and let's not just leave anything to chance.
No. So even with the government, I actually agree, because I've always thought, like that headed letter, say Ministry of Arts, it has a lot of power. I've always felt maybe if they can write to the DSPs, like use that government muscle to say, look, as the government of Zambia, we're inviting you guys to set up base here, or to give us like spots, or rather like the chatting and playlists and everything. Like I agree with you on that, and I think that can actually work out, instead of like me and you just flying to Rosebank and we knock and can we meet with marketing. Like that one is usually difficult. Trust me, like I tried like knocking on doors, clubs and whatever. Like
and these guys work in collaborations with the association. So even if you went there as an individual, they will tell you, okay, ask you the association or the organization back home to write to us. And everything I'm telling you now is stuff that I personally have tabled with the association, with Zamcorps. And I know that there are discussions that are ongoing currently, and I'm hoping that they will yield results, because the truth of the matter is we are missing out on great revenue. The artists are missing out on amazing revenue that could be generated and collected. So we need to work promptly and ensure that these are things that are implemented as soon as possible.
For sure. And hopefully it happens very soon.
Very soon, hopefully.
So still on distribution, at least with TikTok, unlike other platforms, the algorithm really like favors people, or rather it favors the creators. And it's also reason to become like a big tool in music distribution. How are you using TikTok to promote your music? And what do you think of like these kids that are using TikTok now, like J Trigger, Ari, for example? Nationality has become a very big song. Rotimi even jumped on the remix, who is husband of a colleague of yours that was on Vitamin U. Like, what's your take on how TikTok has changed the music landscape?
Well, TikTok has become such a big thing, and little did I know, it would amount to such huge impact. Personally, I've used it to market, I think, the last 2 or 3 songs, and I've seen the potential and just how, the songs have grown. So you need to understand that there's certain individuals that are like kings and queens of certain platforms. I feel like in Zambia, if you go to any of these apps, there are people that have mastered how to utilize those applications, from X to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. And what you may do on TikTok might not be what you do on X, for example. What you may do on Instagram might not be what you do on TikTok, because these platforms all attract a certain type of personality, if I may say.
Yes.
So for people like ourselves that just probably are constantly working, and when something comes to mind, you just want to type it and leave it there, X is the place for me. If I have tough picture. I know, okay, damn it, Instagram, here we go. You know, so then you think of TikTok. I'm like, damn it. So now I have to start learning a dance move. Like, if someone is sliding to some H-Hood song, like, now I need to look for someone like, come on, pull me. I want to be in the new. So each platform has got, you know, different ways in which people utilize it. But I will tell you, each one of them play such a vital role. And for me, what I've done is I've understood my strengths and my weaknesses, that where I am weak, I know how to reach out to other people to help me just get through those platforms. Because not all of us can dance, but at the same time, not all of us may be knowledgeable enough to post certain content, for example, on X.
On X, yeah.
So each platform, you need to take it a certain type of way, and that's the one thing I've had to learn to adapt and understand. So also just getting to have a team of young, vibrant individuals has helped me just understand how best to work around all these platforms. But very, very, very important platforms, I must say. So shout out to, you know, the guys that have mastered the use of TikTok, Twitter or X and Instagram and Facebook. All these guys are making great stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Every platform has its masters, its
Yeah,
pros,
yeah,
and
yeah.
its influencers. Because
True.
there are some influencers who are good only on X, but then
Yes.
on these other platforms, they're not. So
I mean,
on X,
if you took certain people on X and take them to TikTok,
it will be a
tragedy, it will be a
disaster.
I do not flourish at all.
Like, what is that? The kids, I'm saying the kids would destroy you. They'll be like, what is that? Yes.
They'll be like, what's this? And they'll just be using some lingo that you don't even understand. Because there's Gen Z lingo these days. It's like, what? What's that? So, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to take you back to South Africa days when you moved there. So you moved there in the late 90s. Yeah, I don't want to expose your age.
I'm still very young. I was in primary school.
So you were there for close to a decade.
Yeah.
So what was it like living there? Like, what did you learn in terms of like what you're applying with your music now? Did you go to like any of the shows? Because for me, one of the biggest thing I admire about that place was, you know, like you'd see ads on DSTV, Jay-Z live at the Coca-Cola Dome, you know. Even WWE would go there, and I was like, yeah, I wish I could just like stay there, like so that it's like it's like a stone throw away just to go see 50 Cent performing. So what was that experience like for you? What was your Mzansi experience?
So whilst I was in South Africa, I attended the Keith Sweat and Deborah Cox show at the was it the Ellis Park Stadium? I think it was Ellis Park or Johannesburg Stadium. Those stadiums are right next to each other. I think Ellis Park and Johannesburg Stadium.
Should be
I think
those.
so. I think it was the Joburg Stadium that I went to. And for me, that was just mind-blowing. The sound output, I still remember to this day. Deborah Cox was performing a song, Things Are Not the Same, something like that. That was amazing. And Keith Sweat did his thing. And then Cisco, during his prime, came to, then it was just known as the Dome. Yeah, because I used to stay in North Riding. So when you're by North Riding, it's just like a walk to the mall.
Yes.
So when we were staying by the, then they would call them townhouses. That's the same place where Nhlanhla from Mafikizolo was staying. So she's the person I used to bother the most. That's how I met her. That's how I met the husband. I think they're now divorced. That's where I met Subu. The days of Mzekezeke, when Mzekezeke was just starting to pop, and Pitch Black Afro. I met Pitch Black Afro there. So there was a lot going on in our neighborhood because these guys from Mafikizolo were staying there. Who else was in the area? I can't remember. There are a couple of guys. So it was really just inspiring as a creative to go to all these places and just getting to see different individuals come, you know, from the Dome there. And then right behind, there was a news cafe, and most of the artists would go there just to kind of like just go and hang out. So for me, it was really just a creative space for me to kind of like just learn and lift ideas of different people. And my stay in South Africa, I would say, really, really helped me and shaped who I am today. From the way I look at the entertainment industry, from the way I look at my marketing, my releases, and that sort of thing. So and getting to mingle with different creatives was such a great thing. We used to hang out at YFM quite a lot. A lot. We'd literally just be seated opposite the station, just watching people come in. I remember DJ Fresh used to drive a VW Golf back in the days, and he would come up with this huge bag with record vinyls and that sort of thing, and we just watch him just to say hi and that sort of thing. And when people come out to smoke cigarettes, that's when we'd go and talk to them, just try and find out. So when they're speaking, we'll just gather around, like, you're not saying anything, but you're just there. Part of the guys just nodding your head.
Yeah. I get it.
Talking about, double HP, like, So we learned a lot just interacting with all these people and understanding how the industry works, that I can safely say this has really helped me to this day, kind of like just understand how the industry is and the importance of understanding the business of the music. So it's an amazing place. I would definitely go back to kind of like just reconnect with a lot of people, because right now, when it comes to South Africa is the hub when it comes to the entertainment. You want your music video played on Trace? Where the head offices in South Africa.
Rosebank.
MTV, South Africa. This and that, it's South Africa. Most of these artists, where do they go to? It's South Africa. If you want to meet certain industry execs, they'll probably fly to South Africa. So it's such an amazing place. I would definitely urge a lot of artists to take time to kind of like connect with people there, because they seem to have a foot into the global market, and we are inspired by what they're doing, because we also want a piece of the global market.
Yeah, for sure. I always tell people that if you're known in SA, then Africa knows you. And then if you're known in the US, the whole world knows you.
Yeah.
And for me, that was also there. I realized, yes, I know these offices, I can knock on those doors. But it's difficult to pitch, because now, like with me, that doesn't have like very high numbers. It's like I'm competing with nobody's there as well. But then I always tell people to say, look, if you've got millions of views on YouTube, you've got hundreds of thousands of followers, it's much easier to knock on these doors, because they'll respect you. You just show them a phone to say, look, this is me, these are my numbers. And they'll be like, oh, come in. I remember watching a TikTok of Simon Mwewa. He walked into like a restaurant in Joburg, and then, these kids were like looking down on him or whatever. And then he was like, take out your phone right now and go on your TikTok and then check for my name. And then they search for Simon, and they saw he's got like 170,000 followers. I'm like, what? We're upcoming artists, please promote us. I was like, you see?
The numbers never lie. The numbers never lie. And that's why a lot of people nowadays have branched into purchasing numbers, from followers to likes to almost everything. Because that's your gateway to being placed in a certain position. For me, when I want to work with certain people, the first thing they ask me is, "Okay, sure, can you send us your Spotify profile? Want to see what you've released, what your numbers are looking like, and that sort of thing." And you keep telling people like, guys, you need to put in effort into these Spotify numbers, because it's easy to manipulate YouTube numbers. I don't remember an artist ever asking me to say, okay, can you send us your YouTube profile?
No.
It's usually Spotify, number one, or your Apple Music. That's it. They want to see those, because you cannot really manipulate. But then when we talk about manipulation of numbers on YouTube, people say, no, he's just a hater. No. The truth is, people are manipulating these numbers, not just in Zambia. It's a worldwide trend. A lot of people manipulate numbers. And not until you manipulate the numbers will you start looking down on other people. Because then you've understood how people perceive you, how they see you, because of those numbers. There are a lot of artists that inflate YouTube views. Even Nigerian artists, even South African artists, even American artists. I don't know if it was Taylor Swift or Katy Perry, or I can't remember who it was, whose numbers drastically dropped because they were using bots. And it's a common trend. So the unfortunate part about it here in Zambia is that whenever we talk about this, someone says, no, I can't
That's the problem.
No.
It's general. It's actually global.
We're speaking in general, because it's a global trend. It's a global trend that people will manipulate numbers. The platform where now credible organizations that you may want to work with will ask for you to share your profile. It's not YouTube. It's not Boomplay. It's not. It's not. It's Spotify, number one. That is where they'll go. So if your numbers on Spotify are great, good for you. I could have more numbers on Spotify and horrible numbers on YouTube. But if my numbers on Spotify are genuine, then I'm good.
Yeah.
There are people out there who have got great numbers on Spotify and terrible numbers on YouTube. Because remember, there are certain countries, they have certain preference when it comes to applications. So for example, in certain countries, YouTube, you can't access it, but you can access Spotify. You understand my point? So there are all those dynamics that come into play. And so for others, they may tell you to say, show us your Spotify numbers. Not because they think your numbers are fake from YouTube, but maybe because they've understood, depending on the region you're coming from, your numbers might not be good, but the music itself is selling itself on Spotify. So concentrate on Spotify, Apple Music, ensure you've got legit numbers, because YouTube can mislead you. You may have terrible numbers, meanwhile you're good, or you may have over-exaggerated numbers because you want to look like you're good. So there are all those dynamics that come into play. And again, I say this, when we talk about this, there is no one that we are attacking.
No.
So long as no name has been mentioned, don't mention any other name. No. And I don't like that, because people always want to quickly rush to label another person a certain type of way and glorify another person. No, it doesn't work like that. It shouldn't. We're talking about all these things because we want the industry to grow. End of story.
We definitely.
I should never hear anyone mentioning my name and 3 other artists' names because I talked about YouTube. Talking about myself.
Exactly. We're generalizing here.
Yes.
No names mentioned.
Don't mention my name. Don't put my name in these things. I'm begging you. Don't mix my name with any other artist's name when it comes to YouTube, Shanshan. Don't. No names were mentioned.
Because even with Spotify, when you want a feature, like you're mentioning, like they want to see the monthly listeners, the streams. And I feel even if you've got the money to feature certain people, just because your numbers are not right, maybe they may even like decline like the feature invitation. So I think as the Zambian industry, we need to get our Spotify accounts in order and just
definitely
like urge our fans to just like stream on the right platforms, on Spotify, on Apple Music. I've seen some artists and some DJs already complaining about the payouts from Boomplay. So I mean, we don't or haven't seen such problems from Spotify and Apple Music, which are the leading platforms. So that's definitely a lesson that has been learned.
True.
One. So still on the music, away from being an artist, you have been a radio personality as well. When you came back to Zambia, one of your first jobs was being on radio, Hot FM. Then you moved to QFM, and then at Q you did Drive Time, which was, I would say, one of the best, if not the best, radio shows that I've ever had to date or had to date. Then from there you moved to Rock FM, and then most recently Lusaka Radio.
Yeah.
So why radio? Like, it's not strange. I mean, even big artists like Nicki Minaj are still on radio today.
Yeah.
Aware of that. Yeah. So like in your case, like, why did you take the radio route as well?
I think it's really just about the love for music and being able to make people happy. When you're on radio, it's not about you. It's about the people that are listening. You know, anyone can play music. Anybody. Like, it could be possible that the songs that I'm listening to, you're listening to them, he's listening to them, the sister there or the cousin is also listening to those songs. So why should people tune in to your show to listen to music that they already have? It's about the personality that you bring to the table and how you put the music together that these same people would probably listen to when they're at home or in their cars and that sort of thing. So for me, it was, I wouldn't say an accidental happening, but it was just in the moment that an interview turned into an invitation to be a co-host. And then from being a co-host to being given a show. And I, to this day, still give a lot of credit to Hot FM, from top management all the way to other co-hosts as well as on-air presenters there that really kind of like just shaped me to become the person that I am and the person that I would become on radio. So from getting to do these shows on free basis. Like I wasn't being paid for it, right? It was just like an internship of some kind. And I enjoyed it to a point where the guys at QFM heard me on radio and said, okay, this is great. What's the story there? I'm like, no, I'm just doing it, just out of passion and that sort of thing. And I wouldn't say they poached me, but I made the decision to move to QFM because at Hot FM, I was just doing it, out of passion. But then this side was like, would you like to make this formal? And that's how I started at at QFM. And the first show that I did was with KB. It was called Q&R, which was, I think, present from 12 to 15. And then I was later given a show between 15 to 18. Then moved from 18 to 22. Then I also did the 22 to 02. Then I once did the 02 to 06. Then finally I did 06 to 9. So I did all the shows on that station, like on QFM. I did everything. What they would call a night shift, I did all that. So it was really out of passion that I became an on-air presenter. And for me, it was all about the people. I wanted to put together content that would make sense to the people. I wanted to talk about issues that were people related and that sort of thing. So when you're on radio, you get to realize what people want. There's certain people that'll tell you, man, I'm looking for a girlfriend. So I'm like, oh, you're looking for a girlfriend. Someone says, no, I'm looking for a boyfriend. So I would create these little segments where you're hooking people up because the people that are listening to you. And in most cases, people fall in love with the voice before they see the face.
Yeah.
So you find the certain girls that would call and you can tell this person has got an amazing voice and some guy will be like, behind the scenes, they're like, no, hook me up with that girl. So I figured, you know what, let me do something for people that want to connect with other people. So that way, my show would become more and more popular. I used to read letters. We created segments where we'd call someone, or maybe, for example, you've disappointed your girlfriend and she's called saying, no, Benas has really hurt my feelings. Then we'd call you live on radio. Oh, what happened? So these are things that were so relatable to people that I would bring to radio, that even if I'm playing 6 songs that you already have, but because of what I'm saying in between and what's going on, you'd want to listen to my show. So that's what I always wanted to do when it came to radio. But then Amarula came around and I was just like, okay, this is too much for me. I was spending 3 days away from radio and 2 days on radio, and they're like, hey, sir, are you visiting or you're working here? So I had to give up radio.
You have to pick your poison.
Yeah, I had to give up radio.
It happens. Because even in the US, I don't know if you remember Real Husbands of Hollywood with Kevin Hart.
Yep.
Robin Thicke was part of the show. But then Blade Lines got released. So Blade Lines became like a global hit. So he was no longer part of the show. That's how he ended up leaving.
But I must correct you. A number of people think I started with radio first and then went into music. So the truth is, I started with music, went for a radio interview. I started with music for years and years and years and years. And then years later, I went to Hot FM to promote a song. And then whilst I was there, that's when I was invited to host the show. So radio came along the way, and then I also stopped being an on-air presenter and still continued with music. So yeah, radio didn't come first.
Now they know. And I actually loved the radio show. Because I remember before going to uni, I had 3 dream jobs. I wanted to either work as a cashier at DSTV or cashier at a cinema, or be on radio. I actually tried to be on radio. Remember, I came to your place.
I think we did quite a number of
tried to record a demo.
Yes. So wait a minute. You wanted to be a cashier where? Doing what are
school leaver jobs. Keep yourself busy to have your own money for airtime.
No. What was the inspiration being?
Instead of calling you for money for going to the barber shop.
Not that I have an issue with any cashiers out there, but anyway, you may never know these things. Let me not say much.
No, because you're not qualified. You're just fresh off high school. So those are like...
So it's like a stepping stone.
A stepping stone type of thing. So DSTV, because I loved media, like that time, that was like our primary form of entertainment. And then with the cinema, because I like going for movies. So I wanted to work in that space.
I think this is the honest truth. You're just not telling us the truth. I feel you're lying to us. You wanted to work at the cinema because you wanted to be watching movies for free. So you think that if you're a cashier, perfect way to sneak in and watch a movie.
And watch the movie.
You're just like, I know, hold on, I'm coming. DSTV, you wanted free DSTV.
Free premium for the whole year.
So you can watch your MTV.
And be up
now
to
I
date.
get it. Now we get it. We need to find out what these other cashiers are doing where
What
they
they're
are.
doing with
What's the inspiration?
platforms. Yeah. And then for the radio, unfortunately, I didn't manage to get in. But then you're always aware that I wanted to be a media presenter. So the Z Top 10 auditions came around, and you're actually the one who sent me the advert to say Zambezi Magic are looking for presenters. And I went there. Contrary to popular belief, people think you're the one who had the say in the final decision, but the only thing that you did was you actually just told me to say, look, they are looking for people. I went on my own, and I ended up.
You know, the thing is, when you have colleagues and friends in different spheres of you know, I'd say works, sometimes people think just because of your knowledge of certain people and, you know, friendship with certain people, then you're able to orchestrate the outcome. But for me, even that very same day that they were announcing, I was equally blown, just like everybody else, because I had certain people that were, I was thinking, okay, great, like it could be this one, it could be this one, it could be that one. So that achievement for you, I would say, and to this very same day, I can openly say I did not have a hand in the selection or anything like that. I think my only contribution was just alerting you of what was coming, to say there's this that's going to start. Maybe you can give it a try, you know, give it a try and see how it goes. So, but I mean, that's how life is, you know. Even when you work at Zesco and someone comes in and it's a relative, someone automatically think, you know, you're the person that you know, orchestrated that employment opportunity. But I mean, it's life in general. People always have their own assumptions about certain scenarios and perceptions and that sort of thing. So I'm used to it. But job well done. Job well done. Job well done. At least you managed to prove your own abilities rather than it seeming like someone, you know, really patched it all up for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But here we are on a podcast, and I did not write the questions. Let's be clear. I don't even know the next question. You might find this interview is even over.
No, not yet. Maybe like 2 more questions.
Oh, okay. I also didn't know that 2 more questions.
Yeah. So, speaking of productions, you had been shooting music videos outside. But then in the production circles, you bought your own equipment. Is it Black Magic Red camera?
I got a Black Magic Ursa Mini Pro 4.6K. The name is pretty long, but it's a very good camera.
Yes. Yeah. So that camera, like if you're into production, you know, like that was a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah. So you decided, you know what, let me just start doing my own videos, and very nice, beautiful videos came out of it. Beautiful itself.
Yes.
African woman as well, and very great content. So how's that going, the Brotherhood Films?
So of course the idea was to be able to have gear that would help us put together amazing music videos, and the idea came when I was shooting the Mailo video. So when I went to South Africa, I realized the majority of the costs came off the gear, the equipment. So if you want to hire like a high-end camera, would spend a lot more. So I thought, okay. So I asked the director, say, if I had my own camera, how much would it cost for me to shoot these music videos? And when we did our calculations, I would have knocked out almost half the price that I was paying to shoot the music videos. So I thought it would be great to have my own gear, my own equipment that would travel with, get to shoot these music videos and still maintain the quality and still be able to compete with other artists on a grand scale. But also I wanted to ensure that artists back home had an opportunity to use the camera. You may remember that a long time ago, even our West African artists used to travel to South Africa to go and shoot music videos. Yes. If you look at the rise of P Square, if you see videos like Do Me, You Know Easy, all those were shot in South Africa. Right now, I can safely say the number of West African artists that travel to South Africa to go and shoot music videos, they probably only go there for specific scenery purposes. But Nigeria, as it stands, is probably shooting some of our best music videos on the African continent. And they're all being done back home. So for me, my vision was to also emulate that, where we can have the gear. If we have artists coming into the country and they quickly work on a song with any artist, let's have that gear readily available. And for me, that was really the plan, just to try and put that, but also be able to make it easy for myself and the artists that are associated to Brotherhood to shoot music videos. And that's how Brotherhood Films came about. Yep.
Nice, amazing. So at least there's still some progress on that front. And
Yes,
in the end,
definitely.
at the end of the day, it was an investment to save you money and still maintain the quality instead of flying to Santon all the
Exactly.
time to
Yes.
shoot music videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the whole idea.
That was the idea. I know it was a good one. It was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Quite expensive and pricey. But I'll tell you, when you're looking at quality, you cannot compromise on that. And because I wanted to ensure that I have gear that is accepted for production on different
Playlisting
platforms.
on the channels. Yes.
Yeah. So, for example, if you go to Netflix and you check on the tech requirements, what sort of cameras would they recommend? My camera is there as well. So I really wanted to make sure that I have gear that is world renowned and world accepted, and really just make it easy for a lot of people to use. And create some great content.
Yeah, I remember even at the Creative Summit where my brother, your nephew Dennis, was speaking.
Yes.
One of the speakers was
No, you need to mention it. Yes. We're a family of creatives.
One of the speakers was Yasmin Dodia, wife of Kenny Rock.
Yes.
So they had a movie on Netflix. So they were explaining to say like similar problems that you face where people attack you to say no, you're the one with the contacts. It's like, no, you just have to go on the Netflix website and you see, like, if you also want to have your movie there, like, just check, like, the requirements are there. The same thing that you're always telling people, no, if you want to be on MTV based, just go on the website. They'll tell you, no, this codec or whatever, like, is it MOV or whatever. And then you just, like, send the emails. Like, we didn't know anyone at Netflix, or rather, in your case, you don't know anyone at MTV based, but then you just, like, follow like the procedures and then it's done.
So here's what I've discovered along the course of my music career. We seem to have a few individuals, not all of them, a few, that feel entitled. They feel entitled, like, yeah, it needs to be me. So next video I wanted to play on ABCD. I'm like, okay, great, sure. But let me tell you, I don't know how the schedulers at MTV or Trace, how they would react when they see my video or if they see another person's video. You know, they literally receive a lot of music videos day in and day out. And it goes through a whole filtration process, just making sure the videos meet the quality that they're looking for. So yes, I may give you a contact for someone there, but I cannot dictate if they're going to play your music video. And that's one thing people need to understand. So if I share a contact with you, a number, email, and you send your contact or your content, I'm not the one who should tell them to say, you need to make sure this video is going to be there. Because if there's a team of 6 people, for example, that are going through these videos and saying, okay, let's check if they meet the standards. And if your video doesn't meet the standard, it's not me. So now what started happening is you share contact and someone says, Roberto now that no, they shouldn't play that music video. How much of a fool would I be to give you a contact and then I call that person and say, that person that's sending, don't play it. I don't have that right to dictate such things. And also, there's a certain artist, I don't even want to mention his name, but you went around busy saying, no, Roberto is very stingy and greedy and everything. But listen, guys, you cannot jump onto a field with boots, yet you don't know how to play soccer.
Yeah.
You need to know what you are doing there. So you can't want to be on a global stage and not know how to work your way around. Don't feel entitled and say, no, you need to give me ABCD. No, do your own research. Who do we talk to? If you need guidance, go to someone who's doing it and say, listen, bro, I'm looking for this, and that. Then I'll guide you. Oh, the number is there or the email is there. But people were rushing to say, oh, no, Roberto this, Roberto that. I took my own time to do my research, called people, ask for ABCD, and then I get those contacts, right? And you come to me, ask for the same information. I give it to you for free. And then you want to come back and say, no, he's being greedy because he's told them not to play my music videos. It doesn't work like that.
No, that's not how it works.
I don't think I've ever called anyone and say, no, don't play Benas' video. Don't ABCD. Then what am I trying to achieve? You know what I mean? My time will come when I will probably retire and other people will take over. Then what's going to happen then? You will know the truth. At some point, the truth will come out. But I'm happy that a number of artists are now getting to get their shine on these platforms. And they are equally themselves getting to understand how challenging it is to have your videos played, because you need to meet the standard. So if you don't meet the standards, there's nothing that even you yourself you can do. So let's stop this entitlement feeling where you feel like, no, because I'm a new artist, you need to support me, you need to promote me. No. It doesn't work like that.
No, that's not how it works. You can only go so far.
Yep.
You know, even in corporate, sometimes I can just organize, like the furthest I can do is like organize an interview for you. What you do and what you tell the panel is all on you. Like at that point,
of course.
There's no say.
No, that's true.
In closing, my final question is regarding music videos. You made waves, first Zambian artist to block Greatest Road during rush hour.
Oh yes, sound technician. Please make sure you are picking this. On this part, please turn up the volume. Let's go. Ask the question again.
So you're the first Zambian artist to block off Greatest Road to shoot a music video. What was that like for you? What was the conversation like with Lusaka City Council? Because obviously in the US we see this happening. They block off roads in New York to shoot movies. Even just in SA, Southern Africa, aka blocked off Nelson Mandela Bridge, which is a very, very busy road. I mean, we lived there, but he shot Ran Josie from there. So what was the conversation like with LCC? You know, Zambia is very conservative. Not really entertainment like that. Like, I've been curious. So what was that conversation like?
Firstly, we have a big challenge as creatives, yourselves inclusive. A lot of people out there that are creatives, not necessarily as musicians, but from actors, film directors, and that sort of thing. There are different locations in this country that a lot of people want to utilize, but we are never granted permission for various reasons. That's how come, if you notice, a number of artists you find they'll just shoot from somewhere, a market, or they'll just, put together what you call it again? A setup. They just do a setup somewhere, in a studio setup, because we are deprived of access to a number of venues or places. And for me, I wanted to set a certain precedence and say, we can do it. Why should it take Tom Cruise to come here for Greatest Road to be blocked?
Yeah, and that would actually happen if they wants to film the next Mission Impossible, and they would block off the entire Greatest Road.
And all of us will be told, will be sent a circular to say you need to use alternative roads. And I wanted to pose a challenge to other creatives and say, dare to dream and dare to do something big, And the whole idea just came about because the song Poverty was out already. And it was buzzing, and we thought, what can we do to make the video exciting, to draw attention, for people to actually want to watch the video? What is it that we can do? Something groundbreaking, something that has not been done. So we thought of a lot of things. We thought of going to shoot from Hero Stadium and pack it with a couple of things, and we thought, okay, cool, that's going to be another cost altogether. Or what do we do? Do we go and shoot from the museum and put this and that? Okay, no, that would be quite challenging. And then someone just said, what about blocking the road? So we started off with blocking off a certain road, and it was like, but nah, that wouldn't make sense. Why don't we block, or why don't we shoot from a bridge? So the idea initially was we wanted to block off the entire bridge. So we wanted to set up a restaurant on the bridge. That was the initial idea. So we set up a restaurant, and the idea was I was going to cut my hair on the bridge and then dress up. You see like what Lil Wayne did with Amelie and that sort of thing.
Yes.
So where you're moving from one spot, and then there's a mirror, you dress up in a suit, and then I land on this table, and there's like people that are dining with me. That was the initial idea. So we were supposed to pull that off on a Sunday. Now tragically, the miners on the Copper Belt died, and there's news that the ones that were the mine collapsed. The president had to travel there, so the road was going to be used by the president, so they couldn't allow us to shoot on Sunday. That's how come we shot all the scenes with Dismo and Tiger Tonka at Findoko House on Sunday. On Monday we went to Royal Park. So whilst we're shooting at Royal Park, that's when the traffic department called me and said, okay, cool, come through. And I went there, then said, okay, fine, these are the dates that we can give you, seeing that you didn't shoot yesterday. So they gave me Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So I said, okay, cool, Tuesday is better because Wednesday and Thursday I was not going to be around. So then again, Monday evening, they said, oh, snap, we've got another problem. There's an event taking place at Ciela and the president is going to be there. So you need to either pick Wednesday. And I said, no, I'm better off shooting on Tuesday and we'll wait. So we're there from 9 till about 16. So at about 16:10, after the president passed, that's when they said, we know we've kept you the whole day. We cannot block both lanes. We're only going to give you one lane, and it has to be the lane that is less busy, which is traffic coming from Charleston into town.
Oh, yes.
So that's how we were given one lane. That's how we had to block off that. So you can imagine from morning till about 16, we were at arcades, just waiting. So they told us, okay, cool, we're going to give you 30 minutes. I was like, 30 minutes just for us to set up. They said, okay, cool, 1 hour, 30 minutes. So we started setting up at about 16:15, somewhere there, when we blocked the road. So from 16:15, traffic started building. By the time we were starting to film, which is like around 17,
Yes.
hey, we had a lot of pissed off people. yeah. What's that anyway? I've got someone. I'm like, relax. He says, it's nonsense. For a music video. I'm like, whoa,
Dude,
whoa.
the same movies that you're rushing home to watch, they blocked roads in Los Angeles and in New York. Damn it!
There were a lot of people that were pissed off. A lot of people that were pissed off. I hope the song is a flop. No, yeah. Can't happen.
That's a
Then
problem.
at some
Unless
point,
it's them.
and then at some point, one of the officers from the traffic department passed. He's like, how's it going, Roberto? I said, no, good so far. We'll finish in 20 minutes. No problem. So we worked within the confines of the time that we were granted. So we got the license from, the permit from Lusaka City Council. So the process is you go to Lusaka City Council. From Lusaka City Council, you then go to the traffic department at Central Police. Then once you're granted that permit, now they will assign a number of officers to be there with you.
Be with you, yes.
Yes, that's how come the entire time that we're filming, on both sides where we blocked, there were officers present. And they are the ones that actually, we gave them a green light to say, okay, fine, now we can open traffic. Then, yeah. So we're there for like an hour, 30 minutes. So yeah, a number of people, of course, they complained about being inconvenienced, which is rightfully understood. However, it was my moment. I needed to do this. I needed to inspire other creatives. In as much as we inconvenienced you, it wasn't inconveniencing you because your time and everything else did not matter. But it's important for creatives to also be given an opportunity to explore and do things that are out of this world, because that's what makes creatives stand out. So thank you so much to Lusaka City Council, to the traffic department at Zambia Police. They were really amazing and very helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, I mean, roads are blocked off for marathons. And
Yes.
I remember even in 2000, remember the race cars, Satwat Scene, Muna Scene, those races, they used to block off. Remember in
Yes,
Roxburgh
in
where
roads,
we
yeah.
used to stay?
Yes.
That road was blocked once
Yeah,
and
yeah,
would
yeah.
be out at the gate with mom, like waiting for them to pass and
pass,
then
yes.
even wave. That's when I fell in love with like race car driving at the time.
Yeah.
It used
No,
to
I mean,
happen.
the possibilities to block roads are there. So long as you follow the right channels, the right platforms, I want to believe the authorities will grant you that permission. For us, we had to undergo a certain level of scrutiny just to ensure that we're not doing anything that made the organizations look bad.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why to this day, I still credit them, because I think we followed all the procedures. We ticked all the boxes and they said, all right, cool, fine. Go ahead, do your thing.
For
Yeah.
sure. Nice. Uncle Robert, thank you so much for coming.
Wow. What a wonderful closing.
Yeah, so I was hesitant on having you on because I wanted to, like just try to build this without like outside help. But then I realized, out there, like families help each other. We've got dynasties in the US. I mean, people laugh at the Kardashians, but they're a big empire.
Yep.
Comedy, the Wyans. So I think it's time, like for us as the Bandas, as Brotherhood,
Yeah.
we take center stage and we let the people of Zambia and the world know that we're here. I mean, my father was a veteran broadcaster,
Of course.
Ruben Banda. We have his young brothers, Killian Banda, who was killing it in Australia in the basketball scene.
Yeah.
David Banda, General Ozzy, you, Roberto, my brother Dennis Banda, who is founder of
yes, please go. I was waiting for you to say it.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the founder of which organization again?
of Nedotaku. They are leaders, trailblazers in the anime space, gaming, comic books, and that kind of thing. So I think, it's time that
Sure. Listen,
the world took notice of us.
I will tell you this from the onset. It's very easy for someone to say certain things because if people can't break you as a person, they want to break your drive, your vision, your persona. And I equally have encountered individuals who say, no, but why have you thrown your brother General Ozzy on the side? And I'm like thinking, do you know the role he plays in a lot of the music that I release? He's one of the first few people that would actually come to listen to these songs, and I make changes because he's come through. So if I listen to what everybody else is saying, I'll be misguided and misdirected. If you look at empires worldwide, you'll notice families work together. Even Davido right now, for a fact, just see how he's constantly supporting his uncle, and the uncle will support him. But it will come with a certain level of, I don't know if I use the term jealousy to be the right term, but people always want to shake people that are meant to be very close. So I feel like you really need to take note of certain things that people say and be able to make your own moves and be able to be bold enough to do what you want to do. Experiment as much as you can, because that's your first love. The family is your first love. And people will always be inspired by someone that embraces family. You get my point? So if your family has got a certain amount of value that it adds to everything you're doing, I would say ride on it like no one else can. Because given an opportunity, another person, to be the first person. Because if today I was related to the president, I would want to make sure the first person I'm interviewing is the president.
For sure.
Because I understand people want to watch. And they'll say, no, but because he's a relative. Yes, he's a relative. But I'm trying to make a statement. I'm trying to prove a point that I can do it. So please don't shy away from trying to, tap into family legacy, family success, because I don't write your scripts, but the vision that you have is something that you yourself, you sat down to look at and say, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? And if you do it for your own benefit. And then the family will come back and clap for you and support you. Personally, I always support you. So thank you for having me here and, being able to just conversate. And amazing team that you have. Shout out to the guys. So yeah, I'm really happy for you and everything that you're doing. And we'll be here to support you.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Thank you. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the 50K podcast. I'm your host, Benas, aka B Money, aka Mr. 50K. My guest has been Roberto. We shoot from King Spirit Image Room. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, we out.